Now Williams is starting to stoke Americane up. He's making his move on the outside. Then Managar getting off the fence, followed by Rangy Rangdu on the outside. Speediness looking to get up on the fence as they run to the home turn. They're bunched right up, and Secret Admirer in the centre. More Joyous under a hold as they come up the rise. Led from Rekindled Interest, Speediness on the fence, but More Joyous went into another gear. She exploded away from Rekindled Interest. Then Speediness, Managar, Rangy Rangdu down the outside, but over the last 200 metres, More Joyous is clear. She's in front. Oh, we should never have doubted her. More Joyous is going down to the post to win the Queen Elizabeth in a canter. Managar second, Secret Admirer third. And then we've got Rangy Rangdu, Rekindled Interest, Americane, Jimmy Shoe, and Speediness knocked up to finish last.
More Joyous winning the 2012 Queen Elizabeth Stakes. That was back before it was worth $12 million or whatever it's worth now. But yeah, outstanding mare, one of my ex-girlfriends, and we're going to talk about a few of my current girlfriends later on today. Beaver, show us your tips. How are you, mate?
Very good, mate. What a win.
That was nice.
One of our best.
Yeah, that and I think the Doncaster the week before were two best. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, it has been a little mate. Been away on holidays and just, chewing the fat.
Yeah. We are, yeah, me too. We are here for, if you can't tell, we are here for progroupracing.com.au. Check them out for their free tips and extensive guides. But we had a look at day 2 of the championships at Randwick after some cracking racing last week. We weren't necessarily on the right side of it all, but some very good racing and some good stuff tomorrow as well. We've got 4 Group 1s in store. Shall we get into it?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I just want to mention, I'm banning Hawkesbury. We're not doing any Hawkesbury previews anymore.
No, okay, cool.
In 2 weeks when they're got the Saturday Hawkesbury, we're going to do the Borrower picnics. So I'm done with it. Anyway.
That's good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm heading out to the track.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, with the old man and my brother, so should be good.
Very good. And the members there. Nice.
Yep.
Very good. I might start tagging along to a few of those in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's hard to get in at the moment, but it's all good.
We'll get into it then. We are at Randwick. The rail is in the 3 metre mark. There's supposed to be a late shower coming through this afternoon and possibly tomorrow afternoon. So at the moment I'm working on a dead track, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know if necessarily change too many of my tips, to be honest. Last time it was in this setup was a month ago where Volpine and Missy Beale and Wild Rule led all the way. It was a day where Lions Raw came from last and won, but I think with a little bit of cut in it, I think it should play okay. So we'll work on a standard Randwick until we see otherwise.
Played pretty fair last week.
Yeah, it was fine last week, I think. Yeah. I don't think there's there wasn't any demons last week. It was just good racing.
Yeah, it was good racing, and I think certainly helped some of the horses finishing off as well. So
yeah,
if you're good enough, you can win.
Pace will have its say in some of these.
Yeah, it's more pace, I think, than any sort of fast lanes on the track.
Let's kick off with the Fernhill Mile, which is the 2-year-old listed race, where we have the Gay Waterhouse Converge a favourite. Do you like it?
Yeah, I think it should be winning this race. Last run was pretty good over the 1400. Just got beat by a better horse on the day. Prior to that, wasn't far off. Shakiro, Tiger of Malay, just over a length, and it's barrier trial before that was pretty good. It seems to have better form than most of these. I thought the form around pretty much everything else was pretty weak. Yep. So I don't see too many dangers, to be honest.
A lot of these are tied together. Akahata and Arnaque are tied together, who's then tied to Morrissey's Medad, which has Hawkesbury form, which, was short margin to an average horse at Hawkesbury. So I'm just saying that's... And Rachel King's probably not quite with us at the moment. So I'm saying Converge leads. It did have rails advantage last start, but probably gets the same setup here with no chasers.
I think so.
Just got nabbed by the horse on the rails behind it, cleared out from the rest. I think it's good bet to start the day.
Yeah, me too. I thought this.
And around 225,
230 at the moment.
I think that's a good way to start the day.
Yeah, me too.
Let's get into the South Pacific over the 1400 metres, a 3-year-old listed race, where the Racing New South Wales map has it mapped as a fast tempo race with Ellsberg leading Yardstick. I wasn't entirely convinced that would be the case. I thought the Gay horse might go forward. Some nice horses resuming here. How have you seen the race?
Yeah, look, Ellsberg's obviously got a little bit of ability and it's resuming, so it's certainly one to keep an eye out for. But I'm going to go for Private Eye. It had a bit of a break before it came back last start and was in a pretty strong race. It was in a pretty good race, won by Isotope.
This race, the race in question comes up, I think, through about 4 races across both states throughout the day, and I'm saying it's a good race. So
yeah, that's right. So it was pretty friendless in the market that day, slipper day, which was interesting. And it finished 5 lengths off Isotope, but it was Odium. Marbusha, who finished, I think, 4th in that race, came out and ran a cracking race last start and was about the same distance off of what Private Eye was, or within a length or so. So, look, I thought, and it didn't have the best of luck in running. So I think that wasn't as bad a run as what it looks on paper. Trialled since, was nice in the trial. Look, I think it's got all the pointers to probably improve and be right in the finish in this race.
I agree. I think real intent here, Joe Pride's got this. This is its race for this prep because blinkers go on trial since. So time off. Now blinkers on trial since, which trialled well. I think he's throwing everything at the wall. If it doesn't win this, it's probably looking to go back in grade, to be honest. So I'm going with the trainer intent that it will run really well here. I thought the interesting horse in the race off the gelding is Cucaracha. Yep. It was a horse I had a bit of opinion of last time in, and we did go up one well at Eagle Farm, and I was sort of tipping it against Paradis and the like up in Queensland. Gelding, only a couple of softish trials, but I think it can run well here. And the rest, I think, are midweek horses. Ellsberg leading on a decent pace. The trials are just okay. Tim Clark on, I think, they've mapped it forward, but form feels a little bit hollow around that. It's just Dream Circle and Gillette and that. So I think Private Eye, they're having a real crack with from Cucaracha off the gelding. Interesting horse, Holyfield. Did you have a look at the trials? Yes.
Thought they were pretty good.
Yeah, and over the distance, the only miss here over the distance was in the size produce. So it is a horse that has had ability, so probably a question mark. Stays around $15. I'll probably have a saver in that as well.
Yeah, probably just want to see it given the stable change as well and the setup.
Yeah. Polytrack Provincial Finals. I believe great news has come out this morning.
It has.
So did you have a thought here? Or
no, look, I was leaning towards great news. I thought it was going to be super hard to beat. Yep. The only danger was the barrier that it had drawn. Changes everything now, and therefore makes this a pretty open affair. Pandano's been firmed in a lot with the scratching into sort of $2.70, and the next second is Crystal Breeze at $7.50. So I probably couldn't back Pandano at that price at $2.70. So I'd probably, I'd just have to sort of reassess and maybe back a couple of things at decent odds.
I'll leave this race around. I was the two that I was. Great news is obviously on top, and Pandano was the other one that had decent metro form, and this is effectively obviously a provincial race. They were the two. I'm left with Pandano on top, but not that interested in the race, and didn't spend a great deal more time looking at it than be on those first two. Let's get into the Percy Sykes, the 2-year-old fillies over the 1,200 metres. Bit of pace on here as well. I believe Arcaded's going to. It's come out yet? I believe going down to Caulfield, where there's a chance, and because I was getting this race. How have you seen this?
Look, I loved Najmati's win last start. It just exploded. I thought it'd win, and I didn't think it'd win that easy. It was just brilliant. Back to Sydney, I like that. Hard to go past. Look, I think it's got some ability, this horse. So, I think Namjadi's a really good horse in the making here, and I'll be backing it.
Yeah, I agree. Even standing up at 250 if Arcaded out, I gave Arcaded a real chance in this race. I'm saying the Crystal Bound race was on the leaders' highway, so it was probably flattered a little bit. J Macon shows some intent, and favourite very hard to beat. Around the $15, I'll probably save on Jamea, who was the best finisher in the Arcaded race. Yeah,
that's right.
And I think more Joyous Legend can improve a bit. I'd forgive that last start trial since. But favourite on top from Jamea again. First of the Group 1s is race number 5, which is the Australian Oaks won last year, I believe, by Colette it was, and Very Elegant the year before. The last time Winks lost a race was actually getting beaten here by gust of wind. Very good. We talked about it a little bit on Wednesday. Very good and interesting race. Harmony Rose off the hot lead up, and then the backup horses all off the Adrian Knox, which went about 4 seconds slower than the Harmony Rose race. How have you lined them up?
Yeah, it's a cracker, isn't it? It's a really interesting affair. I think there's probably 6 or 7 really good chances in this, all under the 20-1 mark. Harmony Rose, look, I thought it had the race shot to bit last start. So did it just run out of petrol? Maybe. Or was the other horse just too good? You probably got to think Hungry Heart's run was the better run for a 2,400 metre race, the way it hit the line. So I've probably got Hungry Heart just in front of Harmony Rose, but the market doesn't. That's interesting. I'm not sure about Montefilia. Its 3 runs in this prep have been pretty good, but it sort of loomed up last start and looked like it was a real chance, and then just petered out on its run. Did it need the extra fitness? Maybe. I'm just not convinced that last week against the boys took too much out of it.
Okay.
That I just, it worries me a lot, and probably just turns me off a little bit that, against the boys backing up against the girls, but how much was taken out of it. I'm going to lean towards the New Zealand form.
Yeah.
Emeralina, look, it's had, I think, 7 starts for 5 wins and 2 seconds. All of its runs have been outstanding. It's had the runs over this distance. One at Trentham last start. Beautiful run. Very nice horse. But it's certainly got the kilometres in the legs and probably the fitness edge on a lot of these. So as long as it's travelled well enough, we know that these New Zealand horses for these types of races come to Australia and perform pretty well. And I don't see any difference here. So I'm going to lean towards Emeralina to beat Hungry Heart. And I think Duas is a knockout chance as well. I liked its run last start.
Fair enough. I'll start with the favourite. Like I've talked about, they went like the Clappers. Like they went like the same sort of speed the Clean used to go at when it used to lead Group 1s. Before that, it was stat 3 wide against the boys, covering ground. If it comes out and runs to that sort of pace over this distance, they might be picking up pieces of it by the end of the race. I hope it backs up and hopes it runs really well for the owners and everything, because a friend of ours has a pet share and more power to it. I don't think they'll go that fast. You're then coming off that really hot tempo trying to stay, which is a question mark as well, having run it to that speed. Given that the best setup is out of that race is Hungry Heart, because it just sat at the back and was able to close off that speed. That's a great blowout for this. I'm going to come back to, I agree with you, the 2 I'm going to back, the Kiwi mare. She just looked like a real stayer, really nice action. I watched a couple of the replays last night. I'm also saying Montefilia, so it's been a run short all the way through. It was first up 1,400, second up 2,000, then back up into, then third up 2,400. As you pointed out the other day, if you go back and watch that replay, it just started picking, about the 800, when he started getting going, she just picked up, started picking him off and looked like she was going to run away and win. About the 300, you can see her fitness just gas out. Then the first 3 home all came from the 3 outside gates, so had the clearer air and came over. She then fought back on the line. I'm saying 2,400 metre run counts for a lot here, as it did for the winner Explosive Jack last week. I've talked about it enough, and I'm saying a great setup here. If she doesn't win this, then she's not a stayer, and I won't worry about her anymore. But saying if you can have a setup 1 and 2 in this race are the 2 I want to back, I think Epicunious is a big improver, and I think at the odds, it's got the New Zealand breeding, which is always a tick here. Just had the run around in that race and closed off that hot speed quite well. I could argue she should be 2 from 3 this prep, because she had no luck first up and no luck second up, and Ollie's stuck here. So 1, 2 and 5 for me here, and as I said, best of luck to Carol tomorrow. I hope she's a Group 1 winner, and I'll be having a drink with her tomorrow night if she is, unless she disappears somewhere into town. Let's get to the Arrowfield 3-year-old sprint over the 1,200 metres to kick off the quaddie. Another fast early tempo race here. Good race, interesting race. Some resumers here, and we see Isotope coming off the race we discussed versus September Run off Group 1 form, drawn Gate 1 at this time with Craig Williams probably going back to last. Do you want to be with September Run, or you're going away from it?
Yeah, I'm going away from it. Just as I said last start before it was scratched, just hasn't done enough in the last 2 runs for me to get excited and want to back up on it here. Having said that, make a joke of me. Isotope was outstanding last start.
Yep.
It was a fantastic run, just beautifully ridden. I see it getting a similar run here. Gate 3 just sits off the pace, and I don't see this as any better field than probably what it beat last start. Fairly similar. Outside of September Run at its best, it should take care of the rest of them. So, Isotope for me.
Yeah, I'm with Isotope. I like the 3 weeks between runs off that fast race. It finished the day. That was the best. I think it was the best 8.6 and 8.64 and 2 of the day home. That day, that's Group 1 form. We'll talk about Odium later on. Camps right off the back of Wisdom Water in the face, and should win, I think.
Yeah,
it's a lovely run. September Run, I just don't like the gate. I don't like the setup by this time. Finished off quite well behind Masked Crusader. We saw that form. Well, Wayne Hawke thinks Masked Crusader should have won last week. I think don't necessarily agree, but was tremendous in that race. I think the danger is Wisdom of Water. I really like the return. Off some nice trials. It was brave. I think fitness just gave out. The biggest guy would be keener if the face wasn't in this race, because I think pace, they'll be the two that might cut at each other and just set the race up for Isotope. Some other chances, Wild Rule's a chance in B grade, and Prague's off a 4th in a Newmarket. I've never really had a massive opinion of the horse. I know it's one of Trent's, but I'm going with the girl, Isotope.
Me too.
The Schweppes Sydney Cup. How about this for a race to tip into? 3,200 metres, Group 1. Do you want to lead us away? Or shall I?
Do I have to?
I'll do it. Why not? I'm taking the opinion that both lead-ups are terrible. Apart from Sir Dragonet, I don't want to pack anything out of that race. And then the horses last week in the, where are we? Hush Rider. The ones that are on the quick backups, that's Hush Rider, Sacramento. Who else came through that race? The winner. Who was the winner? Quick Thinker Scratched.
Quick Thinker Scratched.
Just saying I'm leaving that race alone as well. So I'm going right back to, the more I looked at it, the more I'm just going to go to completely different form, because I didn't like any of the Sydney form, and I'm going to go to my old mate, Good Idea, who won the Sydney Cup a month ago, pretty dominantly. And
The what cup?
Adelaide one, the one over there. Adelaide, pretty impressively, comes in on the minimum here. Then went to Caulfield, led up in a fast pace, a race where it inverted the end due to the fast pace and was nabbed on the line by Persan and Hangman. We'd all be backing Persan here, I'd guess.
Yeah.
It was the best of the on-paces in that race. Gate 1 should go to sleep, not too far back. I wouldn't want it leading, but I'd say probably just behind both gay horses, and could have run the race. So at 20s, I'll be having something on that. I'm going to say the Chosen One's an out-and-out stayer. I know I don't like that lead up, but I'll just forgive that whole race there. It's got a 4th in a Melbourne Cup and a 2nd in a Caulfield Cup to its name. So at the price again, and I'll have something on Sound, who did lead up the Tancred, sat outside lead, and just gave away late, and won the Zipping Classic last time and last prep, and was competitive over 32 over in Auckland. Just going completely away from the Sydney form. And I think I've talked enough about this race. Favourite Moon, that race, the fact Realm of Flowers was able to sit 3 wide and finish the way she did, means, and Favourite Moon had the rails run and only just won, gives me a bit of concern about the race. Either Realm of Flowers is a star, or I don't need to worry about either of those two. So I've just led that way at the prices. I'll probably end up putting both in the quaddie just in case I'm wrong. And I thought Rondinella was the best of the closers if that Quick Thinker race does stand up. That's enough for me.
That's enough for you.
Have you gone anywhere different? I want to mention Salino though as well, because I think that's what price is Salino's? Down to minimum, blinkers off, and I suspect it's been set with this race in mind the whole time. Goes in the quaddy, probably won't back it. It'll be the last one I'll mention. I've probably mentioned half the field, so your turn.
Yeah, I'm going Realm of Flowers. I backed it last start, and there was nothing not to like about that run.
Okay.
Again, it's not a strong form race, and I know you've penned it, but and you're going down to Good Idea, who won well in Adelaide, but that Adelaide race is no better than this Sydney race. Actually, it's not as good as, or not as good even as that race that Realm of Flowers ran second behind Favourite Moon. If you go back through Realm of Flowers form, back in May, was sort of around about this time last year, it won the SA Classic over 2,500 as favourite, won really well. In the Sandown Cup back in November, finished second, only just beaten, finished off really well in that. So we know it's going to get the 3,200, and the lead-up run in the Manion Cup was very good. And prior to that was good against Yonkers, who won down in Cup Day in Melbourne. So its form's very good for a race like this. It's been perfectly set for this race. So I expect it to be ready and raring to go. And I can't go past She's Ideal.
She's flying this.
She's flying at the moment. 2 starts back when it finished third behind Polly Gray on Slipper Day. Should have won the race.
You should have won last time as well.
And last start behind Sir Dragon A was only a couple of lengths behind Sir Dragon A. Dropped 7 kilos on that. So first time over the 3,200. But look, if it can run the 3,200, I think this is certainly going to be very hard to beat. So I think those two have got it between them. Maybe a knockout chance.
What about Miami Bound?
Oh, look, I think it's a knockout chance. Last start was pretty good, I think.
If you're giving that line.
Yeah, ran home strongly last start, not far behind She's Ideal. So if I'm tipping that, then Miami Bound's obviously a knockout chance.
Cool. For write in and tell us, progroupracing.com.au. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and our Facebook page, Daggy Beaver. If you write and tell me what an idiot I am, if I have gotten that race completely wrong, I'm fine with that.
All right.
Let me know. Thanks. The Group 1 2,000 metre weight for age $4 million Queen Elizabeth Stakes, as we saw earlier, won by More Joyous, Reliable Man. It's a done deal. Winks 3 times, and Adib last year. Beating up Very Elegant. We see Sir Dragono back to form coming here with a sniper's chance. I don't think we need to talk about too many building those top 3. How have you lined them up? You sticking?
Same as I lined them up last time. I think I'll go Very Elegant again. Probably just looks to get a very similar run. Adib probably sits outside the lead. Very Elegant probably sits on its back. Top of the straight, pulls out, and it'll be a match race down the straight. Probably a couple of good chases. So Dragon A, Mugatu, Moanga, they'll all try pretty hard. But these two will clear out and fight it out. But I think Very Elegant will get the chockies again.
I think Moanga showed last week where the 3-year-olds compared to these horses. They're all, I think the first one home were in about 8th or something. Yeah. In the Doncaster. Mugatu looked like it was just going to bolt in a Doncaster. 200, I was counting my money.
Me too.
I was all over.
I was like, this is over. I was like...
couldn't have ridden any better. He just popped out, and I was like, how easy is this?
Yep.
And just stopped. That was...
well, as I said on the show, Mugatu just looks like a stayer to me.
Yeah. So does that bring it closer or in or out?
Bring it closer in a race like this. I just don't think it's up to the quality of the other two. But... I'm pretty confident I got it right last start over the 1,600. I just don't think it has the brilliance, and it sat perfectly. And when it was ready to pounce and sprint, there it just couldn't sprint.
Yeah,
it needs to work into its races and just outstay them. And the others were just too brilliant for it. And it was probably a bit flat at the start before because of the heavy track at Moonee Valley, and it was just a slog. And that suits Mugatu.
Yep. I'm with you. Adib will improve a lot. I think it needed the run, but when you start hearing that he's worried about firm tracks and this sort of thing, it is Willie Haggis, so he could be full of crap. But I think Very Elegant probably keeps the title tomorrow. The more I thought about it, the more I'm scared of Sir Dragonet back in form. It just has that feel of Glenn Boss up in the irons at the end, saying, look at me and knocking me out of the quaddie. So very elegant. The obvious 7 from 1, but I'm actually quite terrified of Sir Dragonet tomorrow. I think they've got it back on track. I love the fact Kieran Maher's gone and bought billboards all around Sydney of Sir Dragonet. That's, I guess, good for racing, as they say.
Yep.
But I will, for my own sanity, I'll put it in a quaddie, for better or worse. I think those 3 probably just have Mugatoo covered at this level. Yep. Rain helps Mugatoo, but Rain helps Very Elegant, and Rain helps Adib, so you can't. And Sir Dragonet, so there's no angle there. I think they're the 3. So I think they're probably the 2, but I'm terrified of number 3 as well.
Yeah.
The Group 1 Queen of the Turf over the mile. Last year won by Conte Patiro. Before that, Alizé. More Joyce has run this twice as well. And Typhoon Tracy won it back in the day. Good little race. We see the return of my other girlfriend, Probabeel's back here. Month freshen up off the All-Star Mile, which she had no chance in once the rain came, and then the way the track was playing, just forget about that. Trialled last week, gave it about 2 shakes at the top of the straight, and she bounded away. I think back to Weight for Age, she's around over a mile the best Weight for Age mare in this race at least. Probably in this race we'll keep it. I won't start any arguments about Very Elegant for Sarah over a mile. Will win this. I think if she's at her best, she wins. If she's not, she won't. Simple as that. Colette, I was surprised she wasn't second favourite. Blinkers back on. She hasn't had blinkers and all prep. Will run well. I guess the thinking there is once it wet. And Nimmerly's flying and will run well. Odium off the hot form race goes in the quaddie as the only other chance, I think.
Yeah, I don't even think Probabeel needs to be completely at its best to win this race. This is a second class lot of horses compared to
2.5 kilos over the minimum, even if you're worried about handicap ratings. She's only in 2 kilos over. Yeah,
that's right. So look, I think everything gets set up for Probabeel here. If it's anywhere near its best, I think if it's 80% plus, it probably wins this race. So any luck in running, and gate 6 looks to be perfect. Just looks too good for these.
And we'll finish off with the Group 3 Sapphire over the 1,200 metres for the mares as well. One of your old favourites, Stefano, back at the top of the weights. A couple of other names who got some New Zealand form. A tricky race to finish the day. How have you approached it?
Yeah, it is a tricky race to finish the day. Lots of chances. A few horses here that are trying to get back into form. A couple resuming. Look, I can't go past Seasons. I thought Seasons' win last start was outstanding. Both starts this prep have been very good. But the way it exploded, its Slipper Day was outstanding. It just put Paytum in a stride, and I think it's probably only benefited from that run. The one gate, just as long as it doesn't get stuck there, looks extremely hard to beat. Don't know about the New Zealander drawn gate 16. That's going to make it extremely tough.
Yeah. Looked a nice win. I don't know how that form all stacks up.
So just the pattern of the day and the gate's going to...
I know we both tipped in the Oaks, which is sort of different land, but none of the New Zealand form really, bar one race from Aegon, has stood up.
Yes.
So far.
That's right. So, look, I'm going Seasons, and I just think it looks super hard to beat. And some of the other form, California's Imbil, I thought had every chance last start.
Yeah.
Just seems to be one of those horses that needs every single thing to go its way.
You can forgive it being off the rails that day, but that's about it. I still thought it had a nice enough run to show a little bit more.
Yep, Wonderbar, it's always runs well, but sometimes hard to catch. And the other ones, just how they've come up this prep.
Well, Sweet Deal's not with us. Fasika, Trials I didn't like. Well, at the end of the day, the rest you're lining up, and you can line up through Tricky Girl and the rest of them, and Seasons brained them.
Yeah, that's right.
I couldn't believe it was $7.50 last night. I think $6.50 is a good price.
Yep. I think
it starts favourite. I hate saying sort of stuff now, but I think it starts favourite.
Yeah. So
and wind. I'm with you. Cut out of the ground shouldn't be too much of an issue. I think it's going to get too heavy. I'm with Seasons. Tefane's off throat surgery. Haven't seen any trials. I know there's been jump outs, but I haven't seen a lot of it. It's a Group 1 horse at a best. The rest are just making up numbers. Entrevier, I wouldn't acquire just for the sake of safety. Not interested in anything else there. I think you've summed it up quite nicely. Let's sum up the thoughts. Your best and value, Beaver.
Yeah, my best comes up in race 9, Probabeel.
Yep.
Number 1. And my value comes up in race 10 at number 7 at Seasons.
Oh, look at that. We're in step again.
Dear.
Slightly terrifying.
It is very terrifying.
I've got a quaddy here so you can veto a couple. Let's go. We're going wide in the Sydney Cup though. 1, 3, 7, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16. So
1 can come out.
Getting rid of that.
Chosen 1 can't win.
Okay. So 3 sound, 7 Miami
And sound
Bound.
can come out as well. Take them 2 out. I'll let you have the rest.
I'd rather take Rondinella out. All right. 7, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16.
Yep.
Into 1, 2 and 7, which is Adib, Sir Dragonet and Very Elegant.
Yep.
Into 1, 2, 4, 11, which is Probabeel, Colette, Nimali and Odium.
Yep.
Home with 1, 3, 4 and 7, Tefane, Entrevier, Fiesta.
Yep.
Who's been off the rail twice in 2 litres tracks.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And as we talked about, Seasons.
Yeah, perfect.
So with those couple out, you're getting probably about 16% of that, which if we get a split early on, if good idea wins it first, we're away.
Yep.
If you're feeling particularly brave, take Probabeel one out. But that will cover our thoughts for progretracing.com.au. For Randwick, let's head down to Caulfield and have a quick look through here, where it is VOBIS Gold Day. The early races are really good betting opportunities because they're all set weight penalties, sales races basically, or VOBIS races. So keen to play early here. Let's kick off with the rail in the true. Good 4, standard Caulfield over 2,000 metres in the first. Let's back the favourite with Mohammedaeus.
Yep,
Off
100%.
the same form line we talked about for Good Idea and Persan. Wasn't far off them in that hot Easter Cup. And will run well here in a midweek race, basically.
Done.
Race number 2, benchmark 78. I left this one alone because after doing Randwick, I had no time for this. Race number 3, I do have time for. Bo Rossa will win.
Yep.
It's won by 7 last start on the Easter Monday. Before that, trucked in Adelaide. And again, this is a midweek race. It will have these covered. South Parade can run a place if you want to play away from that.
Yep.
Race 4, the VOBIS Gold Mile. Mr. Quickie will win this as well.
100%.
Great return to Victorian handicap. Smaller field here, sits closer. We'll run past Sosie Bond and they'll run 1-2. Shandy will run 3rd. How easy is punting?
Yeah, that's 3 of the first 4 there just look morals, don't they?
Race 5, the 1,100 metre Gold Dash.
Famous last words.
You may have this one. You do get honest here.
Yeah, look, no surprise here that I'll back La Mexicana. It's a horse that I follow. Form was flying before it came to Sydney. Just wasn't wanted in the market. I'm willing to put a line through that. Back to Caulfield. Drawn gate 2, sits up on the pace and too strong in the run home.
I love Jamie Carr from Inside Gates. She might be the best inside gate jockey because she manages to she doesn't ride to a pattern. If she's drawn inside, she'll put them into the race. So this will sit leaders back. It'll pop out pretty much like it did when it won couple of starts back into Malicorn.
Yeah.
Should be a relatively easy watch. Only dangers for me, Shelby Cobra, horse of talent. I've done with Valmaster, and Bella Nipotina comes through the Sydney stuff and has Willie Pike, which looks like the story of the rest of the day. Seems to be Pike versus Carr. So we'll watch how that plays out. But again, a nice betting opportunity. Race number 6 is the showdown over 1,200 metres. Some nice 2-year-olds here. Are you going with the favourite, Starry Legend?
No, I like Arcaded. Thought this would be really hard to beat in this race. Gate 12, but that should give that some clear air. And look, had a nice little trial back at Randwick after winning a nice race at Rose Hill. Had the one failure at Caulfield, but that was obviously in the Blue Diamond, and didn't have a lot of luck in that. Probably could have finished closer. Could be could be the one to follow here. Just slightly better valued than Starry Legend, who has won well at both starts, but hasn't been in overly strong company, so it's hard to get a bit of a line through that quality of form.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would have tipped Duck-Hated in the Sydney race if it stayed in Sydney. So you've covered everything off there. Its only miss was the Blue Diamond, where it was inside back and just never given a chance. And we'll get to the Bella Spree over the 1,100 metres. This is probably the race of the day. One I didn't spend one I couldn't really split up, to be honest with you. Plenty of chances. Do you have you put one on top?
Yeah, I'll put Sort of Mercy on top again.
Yeah, nice win last start.
It was a nice win last start. Just sitting off the pace. I think Ancestry is going to put pace into the race again. Sort of Mercy, drawn the 4 gate, gets all the chances here. There's 4 or 5 good chances in this, but I think it probably gets the run of the race. Alpha Auros obviously will improve off its first up run, but I thought Sort of Mercy was a better run last start, and I'm tipping it'll be a better one this one.
Yeah, fair comment. We'll get to my quaddy numbers, but there's probably 5 I put in the quaddy here. They'll all... Yeah, I struggled to split them up because Ancestry sort of, I think, will be better suited here. Liar should have won last start and didn't, which sort of is the story of Liar now for going on, 3 years. Sort of Mercy was outstanding, beating Alpha Oro. They're the numbers. I think Sistas broke a track record last time, but does slightly feel a level below this. And Bumper Blast trialled really well in his 30s, so it goes into my quaddy. I haven't really shed much light there. Good race. One that I don't really have an opinion of, to be honest. The VOBIS Gold Sprint over 1,200 metres, where you found Laverod with Pikey last time. Are you sticking or are you looking elsewhere?
Oh, look, I think it's a massive chance again in a race like this, sitting off the pace. It'll need a similar luck in running here. I've actually gone for the first upper in Felicia. Horse I really like, fresh for this. Again, probably gets in the running line, sort of midfield or so, and unleashes a bit of a sprint in the straight. How Romantic will probably lead from the 1 gate, so it's going to be hard to beat. We know how you just touched on how well Jamie Carr goes with good barriers, so it's going to be hard to beat. But I think Felicia might just be too strong at the end.
I agree. Sensational trial too. Yes. Happy to side with you there. Paul's Regret will run well here, going away from the other 2 obvious ones. Paul's Regret, a length off Probabeel, 2 starts back, and then was okay, 2 lengths away in the Trecity. Dropping grade here, we'll get the flowing run, and I think we'll be close to in the finish. And then the 2 that finish alongside each other, How Romantic and Laverod, they're the 4 for the quaddy, but 6 from 11 for me, just going away from the 2 tied to each other.
Yeah, Felicia gave Alpha Aura a bit of a bath in that trial.
Yeah. Yep.
Which was pretty
impressive. She was nice. And and Will Price riding really well.
Yeah, he's good.
Forward there.
I like him.
And we'll wrap up the day with the VOBIS Gold Distaff over 1,400 metres. 2 chances for me here. I'll go with, as my laptop updates. Good and Proper's been honest all the way through. This prep finds probably her weakest race here. There's a lot of numbers in this race. And will run well behind... just missed from last behind the Stylist and behind Quantum Mechanic, who's in the market in a Group 1. And this is the weakest race I'm Elegant's been in for a long time, and I think can run well here at double figures. The main 2 for me there. Anything to add? Yeah,
no, look, really hard to get a line on this. Good and Proper has been solid. Again, I probably just slightly leaning towards something like a horse resuming in La Chevalier. Thought its trial wasn't asked to do much, which was nice, but it was in a solid trial behind Rubisaki and Bumper Blast, which you just mentioned is trialling really well. So I thought that was pretty good. So it may be a knockout chance in a pretty open affair where anything could happen. Yeah, cool. Do you have your thoughts for progretracing.com.au for Caulfield? What was my value bet was race 7, number 5, Sword of Mercy. Thought that was pretty good. And my best bet came up in race 1, number 2, Marmadeus.
I am going to make Bo Rossa my best. I Am Eloquent, my value in the last. And some quality numbers. Again, you may veto as we go. Might be the easiest way. 1, 2, 10 and 13. Finance Tycoon, Starry Legend, Arcaded, and I've thrown Literary Magnate in as well. But we can even drop that last one off if you want.
Yeah, drop that off.
Gone wide here in the sprint, which is 1 Ancestry, 3 Liar, 4 Prophet's Thumb, 5 Sword of Mercy, 7 Rubasaki, and then 10, 11 Alpha Oro Bumper Blast to the 30s. And then leg number 3, Labour Rod, How Romantic, Felicia, and Paul's Regret, the 4 we touched on. And home with La Chevalier, I Am Eloquent, Lunicorn, and Good and Proper.
Yep, I'm happy with
Cool.
it.
Yeah, you're getting about 12% for that, which hopefully will pay right if Bumper Blast picks up that middle one for us. It's been show us your tips for Pro Group Racing. We need to look up north, I believe, before we leave.
Race 2, number 1, Stella Magic, is one of my tips. Let me just find the other ones that I had for us, Dougie. There was a couple of others. Race 5, number 6, Got a Kiss. And I had one more, which was, let me find it. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, come up in the last race. Race 9, number 3, Axe.
Oh, nice. And I will, just the one at Morphettville in the Redelva, Stenheim, looked like a superstar last time at Sandown. Goes to the Mayor's race on the way, I assume, to the Australasian Oaks. As I've said, check out progroupracing.com.au for their free tips and extensive guides. If you've jumped on for the first time, give us a subscribe, stick around. We do 2 shows a week, live and free on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud. Anyway, good podcasts are found. Good luck at the track tomorrow, Beaver.
Thanks, mate. Looking forward to it.
And we'll see everyone Tuesday night for our midweek show.